the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. We are back. Now, the first things I do want to cover is going to be the S&P and the Nasdaq. Now, what I do want to say is I'll be going over Qs and SPY, which isn't traditionally what I do here. I usually go over NQES. However, charts aren't adjusted yet, so it's just causing a lot of issues, and I just don't want to cover it. This will be the easiest way for you to track everything, and it will kind of avoid all the questions. The first thing I do want to say, though, is if you go... Actually, scratch that. The first thing I want to talk about is what happened here last night with yields. I already know every one of you are going to comment about this. You're going to be like, Tyler, did you see yields last night? They shot up, and then they came back down. And, oh, my God, Aichi, Wawa, this is so bad. First of all, this is my opinion. Take it, leave it, do whatever you gotta do. One, trading view. Two, it was like a few platforms. I want to say that it wasn't every single platform. So I will say we know TradingView had some pretty big issues with its data. Just saying. But yeah, another thing is you saw it immediately get corrected right back to the downside. And then on top of that too, you can even look at, I don't want to cover futures too much in this video. But you can see that like futures weren't really affected by it last night. You know, take it or leave it. You just chop sideways during that time. So futures weren't really affected. If yields really indeed pushed up from 5% to 5.5%, arguably one of the biggest moves that you would have seen from yields in maybe 2 years throughout the whole recession that we had last year, or major pullback, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I am 99% sure you would have saw that reflected with futures. Again, personal opinion. So I'm kind of like, I don't really care. Also too, I want to say this right now, very unlikely you're going to get a very volatile move on yields. Why? First of all, like, let's answer that question, right? So yields obviously are sitting at a major breakout point on everything. This is the 2, this is the 5. You can see they're all at highs, right? That's right. They're all at highs. Okay. So I'm not making anything up. They're all there at the breakout point. Now, I'm just saying, what causes yields to go up is continuing to raise rates. If our rate decision is on Wednesday, it's unlikely we get a breakout or even a massive breakdown before that rate decision is made. Don't shoot the messenger. My opinion. Take what you want from that information. Again, I'm always going to share my honest opinion with you guys, whether you like it or not. That's why you come here. It's for transparency, for honesty. That's my opinion. Now, before we go into anything else, I have to ask you to do 2 things. Like and subscribe. Helps out tremendously. I give videos for you so you are prepared every single day on the market. The Discord link is down below if you are interested. These prices will be raised. I mentioned most likely $60 on basic access and full access to $100. We've debated. I don't know what they're going to be, but they're definitely going to rise by Black Friday. Everyone's like, "Oh, Black Friday is sale." There will be no sale on our website. The only thing that will be for sale that isn't normally for sale will be lifetime access. But yeah, these prices will be jumping up. Yep, happy with what we've done. I think we have a really solid base. Anyways, so that's where we're at. Now, the few things that I will mention. Okay, and it's funny that we saw that action on yields overnight, because today something interesting happened. Okay, I recommend very few people to follow, because I don't like to put my credibility on the line for other people. But Gavin, pretty solid information he usually posts. He's been posting and updating this, and this is just the data pool of the probability of a rate hike versus a pause, etc. It has now gone up to 99% for a pause on Wednesday's meeting. Again, don't shoot the messenger. This is just data. Again, you have people spewing fear. Again, we just look at facts. We just react to the data. Also, if you haven't been paying attention on my Twitter, my personal Twitter, the link is down below. I recommend you pay attention every morning right before market open. I give you a watch list of things that I'm expecting and looking forward to. Today, SPY below 444, Qs below 372. Pretty concerning, bearish, right? So again, you knew that. So let's go into what happened here and kind of the action over the course of the day. We're going to go to the 5 minute, then we'll break a little bit to the upside. Okay, so basically for the first half of the day, and this has been like the going movement over the past few days, we had some really good selling. I will say Friday was really good selling. Like Friday gave me the viewpoint of like, okay, maybe this like downside thesis, bears are ready to show up. Maybe. Okay, possibly. And then today happened. So we're below 444, giving you a zoom out so you know where that level comes from and the significance of that level. I like to always give you guys relevance while I'm looking at it. So going back to your highs back here, July or June 30th, right about here, June 16th as well. It's your highs right here, right? 444, 444.2, give or take, right? So you can see that. Now, when we go back to the chart, we can look at this action. So essentially, market open. This is, don't shoot the messenger, okay? Don't shoot me, please. Market open, you pop up, you reject, you come back down, break down to lows. We kind of just reject all morning until like 11 o'clock, 10:30, and then you break up. And at that point, I was like, I'm done. I'm not interested in trading, right? Because you're just breaking over that level, and then you kind of chop, and then you just come back down, which is kind of what I assumed. And I knew it was going to be a range-bound choppy day there. Because once you get above, buyers didn't push you up with any conviction or strength. Also, too, another big thing I was watching for is I'm watching the same level on both charts. What does that mean? So it's 444 on SPY, but you go back to here, and it's like roughly 372.8. So if you go back into Qs, and just tells us right here, is Qs are clearly making lower highs here. Concerning, right? So that's what's happening here on Qs. And Qs aren't even pushing back above that key level that it has relative to SPY, which is 444. So I'm not going to try to trade the bullish side of the market or even look at the market from that viewpoint because you're below those key levels, right? So, and you're operating not in sync with each other. That's like the red flag number one. But I just want that to all be highlighted. Now, going into this week, going into tomorrow, Wednesday, you most likely see some downside into tomorrow, chop, and then maybe like... Okay, so if tomorrow morning we get some love, we get some upside, I suspect by the end of the day, you see like hedging to the downside. Okay. And then if we get selling in the morning through like the first few hours of trading, I expect probably some upside near the end of the day. No matter what, I think the opposite happens at the end of the day, just to hedge going into the Fed meeting. Now, it's important to know the Fed meeting is at around, I think, 1 p.m. Central is when the rate decision is released, and 2 p.m. is the meeting. I believe, don't quote me, but it's around that time. I don't know how I'm forgetting. It's the same time every single session, but it is what it is. So that's where we're at. So when I'm looking at this action, it looks pretty bad. But again, even though we're not looking great across the market, and I'm going to go over equities here in a second, it's important to realize there's a high possibility they pause. And people are going to get mad that I say that. Again, it's just looking at the facts. Raising rates will not impact energy data. It just won't. So it's like, I don't really know what they're going to say about it. And I also don't think Powell's going to make too many comments regarding energy. If there's one thing that Powell doesn't like to do, he doesn't like to talk about things that he does not have control over or have any type of impact on, or that's just not his job, right? We saw the debt ceiling. We saw that happen. Powell said, it's none of my business. It'll be bad if it doesn't go through, but it's none of my business. Didn't care, right? We're seeing the government shutdown. I promise he's going to get questions about that, but then he's going to say, doesn't really matter. It's not my jurisdiction. Who cares? I'm in charge of this, right? So that's what Powell's going to say. So he's not going to say anything crazy about energy. He's going to say, this is kind of concerning, but we can't do anything about it. That's what he's going to say. But he's going to talk really good about the housing market. He's going to talk good about where inflation is going down. And I know everyone's going to get mad. Everyone's going to say Powell is crooked. He's this, he's that. But Powell's going to talk about what he's doing and what he has an impact on. And if that's the narrative he takes, which is most likely the narrative he takes, I don't see a reason why he would raise rates again, unless he just wants to rip the Band-Aid off and get the last one done. And then number two, he's probably going to say good things. So that's just like where I'm at. So it's like holding long-term shorts makes no sense to me. But again, when I look at the technicals, you're going to see what I mean. There's a lot of red flags across the board. So that's why I'm at this point. I'm just like, man, look, I'll take some day trades. I'll take some scalps. But I'm not looking to get rich here. I'm looking to survive. I'm looking to make it till Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning. That's it. So again, let's go really quickly over a few things. Now, number one, before we go into equities, oil came right into our target today, 92 to 93. I had to move that because I posted a picture of it and it showed up weird on my phone. But yeah, you're coming right into it. This is what we expected. I don't think we're going to get above 94. I could be wrong, but I think we'll get rejected by that time. Personal opinion. Although the oil demand did come out today for 2024, I believe, and it's pretty high. It's not that good of news. So that's the only thing that I want to talk about there. Then I want to talk about yields. Already covered them. It is what it is. Okay. Going over a few names. Now, number one, I've continued to say semiconductors. And I think semiconductors have a little bit to be worried about now. Now, I'm going to go over them break down the index or the ETF, but let's just talk about this first. If you hold below 440, which you did today, not a good look. However, on the daily, it's not a bad candle. Again, it's decent. It's solid. It really is, right? You had that gap down, you bounce back up, you close right below 440. That's the only bad thing. Okay. That's not overall great, but decent closes of the day. AVGO, kind of similar. You're sitting in this little bit of a range. If we get below and close below like 840, I think you're in trouble and it's going to get gross. You can kind of see it's just like clinging on to support. But yeah, you're going to see like this going thing. We even saw AMD get back down towards 99, 100. You bounce again off of 99.7, that key level. But again, semiconductors are at a very pivotal point. I'm still going to, people are going to say, Tyler, what do you think about AMD? Your trade's not doing it on AMD. I'm like, guys, like I said AMD for 2025. If you're scalping AMD, then you could have bought it again at 101 and sold it like 111. You could have bought it at 99. You could have sold at 102. I'm not trying to day trade it. I have no desire to day trade a slow moving name like AMD. It's a long-term name, so that's why I think, and that's why I like it. So we go to semiconductors, SOXX. And yeah, you can kind of see here, it's not ideal, right? So you kind of broke that trend that we had. We came down, came back up, came back down. Okay, bad. So if we start getting below 472, I think we have a lot of room for downside. Immediately you have no liquidity, but if we really look across the board, this area right here, there's just nothing. Like there's no liquidity. And so this is a very big area of caution. So again, you can tell if you've watched the channel at all the past 2 weeks, I am, again, like I said, I don't see them doing anything crazy. I don't see them saying anything crazy. But based on technicals, this makes you very cautious. Because if semiconductors get slammed from 472 somehow down to 445, I promise you the Nasdaq is going to get hit. And it's going to get hit hard. So that's things that we need to be able to identify and be able to watch. A step further, a name like Netflix. I've been posting this a lot on Twitter lately. You close below 398. Not good. You're pretty illiquid down to 376. If you get below 390, I think it's all but wraps for $15 drop to 375. So these are just things that are kind of happening and playing out there, right? And so there's still some decent names like Apple held up really great, but Apple most likely had the day it did based on Warren Buffett's comments over the weekend at his investor recap or seminar, whatever he was doing, talking about Apple, saying it's a great company. Because again, Apple is a fantastic company. They're buying Apple long term. They have plenty of cash on hand. They'll survive anything. It's a great company. It's like a company, like a model of things that you want to own. That's what Apple is. So that's what Apple did pretty well in the day. But nothing else really had that great of a green day. Amazon came back to the downside. Once you get back below 142.5, 143, that was all but wraps as well. So again, you're seeing a kind of a growing theme here. I'm not going to go over too many equities, but I'll go over Tesla to close it up. But if you didn't get in the newsletter, it has all this stuff on there as well. Tesla, again, you get back below 264, you're probably looking for 260. That's where we're at there. Tesla, all things considered, it's holding up pretty well as well. So like there's a few names that are holding up, doing decent. Apple, Tesla, even kind of Microsoft. But there's a lot of names, specifically semiconductors, that are very concerning. Another big thing you get to think about is XLF, which again, I don't think we're all thinking about enough. But XLF is definitely, in my opinion, pricing in a possibility of a pause. They're 100% you are. So, if you don't get a pause, if you get a rate hike, I'm going to tell you right now, XLF is going to get slammed. It won't be good news. You kind of do have a little bit of a bear flag playing out here. It's a little bit of extended, but you're right below these lows here, so it looks like it could play out to the downside. We'll have to wait and see. But again, that's what I'm looking at. That's my opinion on the market. I'm not going to go, again, pretty short video until we get this data. It's kind of just like cruising, just taking the trades that come to us, giving you a quick visual of just how I've been trading, how I've been looking at the market, how I'm not getting too aggressive here. Over the weekend, Jay did have a great trade. Jay held NVIDIA, and it did good, right? He had NVIDIA puts. It went basically from 440 all the way down to 426. He closed those literally at market open, like 40% gain on all of them, right? People made money. Day trades today, Netflix, only day trade of the day, really, and a little bit of NVIDIA again. But that's about it. There's nothing that we're really doing. We're kind of being patient. We're not getting greedy. And again, that's just the viewpoint that we have here, right? People are making money. This is just the view of the Discord and what we've been doing as of recently. But it's been pretty calm, pretty relaxed. There's no reason to start, put the foot on the gas yet. Be patient, be calm, know when you can lose your money, know when you have the best opportunity to make money. Have a good one, traders.